Get the cream, precious metals or the crypto things. Your bars are light like the one that's on a Smith machine. But my Maxwell and I ain't speaking about the pretty wings. Watch a potty.
Welcome to 3Con Commentaries. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw. And from April the 1st, 2023. Okie dokie. So all the talk about CM Punk and Vince McMahon will be in other videos. This is just about Raw. And it was not much about Raw. This is the go-home show to WrestleMania. And they did a really strong go-home for the main event spot. Other than that, though, it was strong for the Intercontinental Championship, too. But the rest of the show, just a bunch of why is this happening kind of stuff, you know? But typical Monday Night Raw. So we start with The Rock. So The Rock said he made that boy bleed. Now the only thing missing is the tears of Mama Rose. He then said that one thing that did break his heart is having these young babies. And they showed the videos of these babies crying. One little girl saying she will never watch Moana again because of what The Rock has done to Cody. That was heartbreaking. That was genuinely screwed up. The other baby thinks that Cody is dead. That was truly sad. And The Rock says that he got some Uncle Rock. He has some gospel for these babies. And that sometimes there are moments in life where you got to do what you got to do. And there's moments in life where if you talk shit, you shouldn't be talking shit. So The Rock is out there having too much fun, naming himself the final boss. This whole final boss thing, okay? Let's talk about that for a second before we move on. AEW is now selling shirts with the final boss for Samoa Joe on it. Now, apparently, they've been selling these shirts since January. Then you had Serena Deeb, who also was calling herself the final boss not too long ago. And then The Rock took it from her, apparently. So everybody's running around like, who is the final boss? Apparently, AEW does not have the trademark for Samoa Joe, despite the fact that Samoa Joe has been using it on T-shirts for the last 3 months. There apparently is no trademark on it. They certainly didn't trademark it for Serena Deeb. So does The Rock not have a trademark on it either? I don't know. But the final boss is pretty much everywhere in wrestling now. So it's also kind of cringe if you think about it. I mean, it's one of those inside baseball things, like when The Rock keeps saying that pro wrestling is cool. And it's cool because of The Rock. I'm like, get out of here with that. It's like using heel and babyface on television. I can't stand it. Anyway, Roman Reigns comes out there, says that he always operated as family above all. And he's glad to see The Rock operating on that time too. Said that he came to Raw to acknowledge his family. He also threatened to leave if the crowd didn't stop yeeting. He thanked The Rock for making this the easiest WrestleMania main event of all time for him. They're going to smash those two fools on Saturday. Bloodline rules. They're going to have their way with Cody on Sunday. And it felt good to see Cody get whipped. Then he says that The Rock put his family above all. That's how you should lead. That's how your tribal chief leads. He didn't say that Cody was doing a bunch of nothing in 2020. Saw what they were doing over here in WWE, wanted to be a part of that. And they were very generous and opened their arms to young Cody. But he can't come over here trying to knock me off the top of this mountain. You know, my family can't put up with that. My kids, they ain't going to put up with that. And he starts talking about all the kids and everybody in the ring. He can't have that. And then Seth Rollins' theme music plays as Roman skips over some words. Because apparently the guy who was supposed to hit Seth Rollins' theme song missed his cue. So Roman had to keep talking and he ended up blah, 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 and then Rollins' music plays. Rollins is in the crowd. Said he ain't coming down there to get ambushed. And that if these guys want to fight, they got to come up there to fight him and fight all of Brooklyn. Which I'm pretty sure Brooklyn would beat the shit out of Seth Rollins. Brooklyn going to leave footprints and bullet holes all over Seth Rollins. He don't know where he at. Well, that's probably old Brooklyn. New Brooklyn is probably all rainbow flags and, you know. Let's change the subject. Anyway, Seth Rollins wants to fight. He challenged The Rock, challenged Roman Reigns. Neither one of them was interested in that. Solo Sikoa, however, did step up, accepted the challenge, and The Rock made the match Bloodline Rules. Can The Rock do that? Who says he can't? Who says he can't? Anyway, Seth Rollins is backstage. Roman and Rock are backstage. Roman said he's leaving because he's got to go write the speech, because he is going to be the guy who is going to be inducting Paul Heyman into the Hall of Fame. There are some people who are upset about this. My only problem with the Roman Reigns biography, with this whole thing, is that it feels like an extension of kayfabe. You know, like from what I haven't seen the whole Roman Reigns biography yet, but from what I've seen of it, it seems like it extends kayfabe. You know, and this clearly is kayfabe, and it seems like the Hall of Fame is also going to be kayfabe. And I'm like, wait a minute. I get that you're trying to make the story immersive, but the biography should clearly not be kayfabe. The Hall of Fame should clearly not be kayfabe. You know, like those are two things which should be legit. But Roman is going to induct Paul Heyman to the Hall of Fame. I'm not upset by that. I think it's a good choice to get people to watch the show. They're going to use Roman. Yes, it probably would have been better if it was somebody from ECW, but they wanted to get somebody who's relevant. I didn't say it like that on purpose, but you know, the ECW guys don't always have the most relevance. They also don't have the best relationship with Paul. So Seth Rollins, he's hanging out backstage. You know, Jey Uso said he's got his back. Jey Uso is just floating around all night. We'll talk about him in a second. So the main event of the evening, Seth Rollins, Solo Sikoa, Bloodline Rules. And Bloodline Rules apparently means that if other people interfere, the match is just thrown out because there was no winner or no loser. This match was just tossed. Jey Uso came out to fight Jimmy, who interfered in the match. The Rock took out Jey Uso by just throwing him against the LED boards. Cody came out to make the save. Cody was supposed to not be medically cleared to be there, but he was there anyway. I didn't like that he had a little bit of bandage on his head, like a little bitty bandage. He should have came out with like a full head wrap. You know what I'm saying? Like half a mummy. That would have really sold it. Like even with a still with some blood patch on it, you know, to make it look like he was in a war or something. Like he just came out of Vietnam. Like he almost be missing. Like his eye might be missing or something. You know, play it up a little bit. So he came out. The Rock starts actually flailing all over the place. This was actually fun. The Rock is huge, by the way. So watching The Rock sell while he's so goddamn big is humorous. All right. It's like, whoa. He's slipping on ice every time he gets hit with something. It sounds like it's whoa, 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 whoa. You're like, what is going on here? So they're throwing The Rock against the thing. They're going to rock bottom him on the announce desk. Roman comes back. It's a fight scene. Seth Rollins and Cody, they get their asses beat. Then they proceed to start whipping them with the weight belt. We get the Passion of Cody Part 2, where Solo Sikoa is holding him in place and The Rock is whipping him with the weight belt. And that's pretty much the end of the show. Roman is yelling about this being the beauty shot. This is how their careers are going to be. You know, this is all they're going to be known for the rest of their careers, is how the bloodline get down, whooping that ass. And you know what? I maintain that Roman Reigns has mentally checked out of this storyline. Like, I don't think Roman is 100% in on this anymore. And I think that's really why so many people have been saying, like, oh, he's been playing third fiddle to The Rock and all this kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, but I think that mostly he's frustrated because he lost his spot. You know, he's still the main event, but he was supposed to be working with The Rock. You know, now he's got a tag team with The Rock, which is a different thing, you know, from what they initially planned. And the fact that he was so frustrated about it on the Pat McAfee show goes to show how much it bothered him, I think, that he's ended up in a tag match and has to work twice rather than having to work once. You know, like, I think he mentally just kind of like shut it down. It's over. I don't care. Do what you want. You know, but poor fella. Poor tribal chiefus. He spent his whole year not working. And now at WrestleMania, he got to work back-to-back nights. Poor Tribal Chief. Oh, our Tribal Chief. He got to work 2 days in a row. Who do you think he is? You think he's a normie? You think he's a regular guy with a regular job? He got to work back-to-back days? He probably hasn't worked back-to-back days in 3 years. Poor fella. All right, there's an absolutely trash match they decided to put in the ring. New Day and DIY versus the Judgment Day. How dumb was this? Damian Priest ends up pinning Tommaso Ciampa. Get the fuck out of here. The only thing is, they mentioned that both sets of championships have to be pulled down. So you know they're about to do a split title. They're about to split these belts up because Judgment Day is undisputed champions. There's going to be 2 sets of belts on the ladder. They're probably going to have Awesome Truth pull down a set of belts. And then one of the SmackDown teams pull down a set of belts. My God, it better not be Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. It better not be. It better not be Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. Boy, I'm going to flip a table if it's Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. I swear to God. But it seems like this is how they're going to split up the tag team belts. Is they're going to, tell everybody, oh, both sets of belts are on the line. I don't care about this, by the way. I'm just letting you guys know because you guys might not have heard that. Anyway, they did a great vignette for Chad Gable and Sami Zayn. It's Rocky. They go to the Performance Center where Chad Gable gives Sami Zayn the blues physically, forces him to go through all of this, gruesome training, to counter sleeper holds. Like, Sami Zayn's been in the business 30 years or something like that. He can't counter a sleeper hold. Like, legit, he needs Chad Gable to teach him how to counter a sleeper hold. Come on. Like, if this would have been Chad Gable is an almost Olympic level wrestler or something like that, so he's going to teach him some ground and pound or some nice little transitions and stuff like that, that would have been interesting. He's showing you how to counter a sleeper. Sami Zayn, you've been in this business this long and you don't know how to counter a sleeper? Somebody should have stepped in like, hey, look, they teach little old ladies at the YMCA how to counter a chokehold, all right? We got to do better than this, all right? Literally take a taekwondo class in your 50s. They'll teach you how to counter a chokehold, with the same degree and the same absolute technique that they're showing this high-level contender we got here. Anyway, they end up having this conversation in which Sami Zayn admits that he's scared of letting everybody down. And I was kind of like, I don't like this. I don't like that he's admitting that he's scared, but it works for his character. Because Sami Zayn is not a huge guy, not a tough guy. It works for his character for him to say, like, I'm worried about letting everybody down. I'm worried about my child crying like your child cried. And Chad Gable said, okay, look, I told you what you needed to hear because you fight from underneath. You work best when you're being doubted. So he didn't say that. He didn't say that he couldn't beat Gunther to hurt his feelings. He said it so that he would fight harder. And so then the training montage continues with Sami Zayn punching it and getting better and still practicing countering chokeholds. Like, come on. Then they had Sami Zayn wrestle Bronson Reed. The match ends in a disqualification or no contest because Gunther beat the shit out of Chad Gable and dragged his corpse onto the ramp. Sami Zayn ran down to the ramp. Mickey! And then he got his ass beat too. They did a great spot where after he got beat up a little bit, Sami Zayn, he was kicking the ramp, like making noise like he was stomping. And that got the crowd really into it as they tried to cheer for him to get back up. So they successfully, I would think, got people to believe in the Sami Zayn story by using Chad Gable as a sacrificial lamb. They fridged Chad Gable to get over Sami Zayn. That's nasty work. It's nasty work. Well, I'm guessing they're probably going to have Chad Gable turn heel on him eventually, right? Probably not soon, but like eventually. And now I'm looking at the position where I'm saying, hey, Sami Zayn might actually win the belt now. He's kind of got to at this point, right? This time last year, this time last week, or a couple of days ago, I probably wouldn't have seen Sami Zayn winning. But now it's almost like Sami's got to win. Kind of. All right, Dominic Mysterio is hanging out with the Judgment Day, and he invited Legado del Fantasma to play darts. And Rhea and Damian Priest are not happy about this. I popped at the idea of these guys playing darts in the locker room. Big pop on that. So I don't know why, because I'm not like a big darts guy, but the fact they have like board games in the locker room, it's like they're in there playing Clue. How nice is that? They're playing Shoots and Ladders in Judgment Day's locker room. That's amazing. They're playing Sorry. They're playing Trouble, because Trouble rules. So later on, Damian Priest is still upset because Ricochet and Ivar. No, he wasn't mad that Ricochet and Ivar had a 40-minute match. That was me. He was mad that Ricochet is still alive, and that's also me. But Ricochet hasn't been handled yet, and he wants this Ricochet issue taken care of. JD McDonough says, "Oh, we'll both be in the Battle Royal on Friday. I'll take care of it then." I'm like, shit, you ain't doing nothing now. This is where, Damian Priest, El Jefe, El Presidente, the Judgment Day, is not the tribal chief. Roman Reigns looked at Jimmy Uso and like, bro, what are you doing right now? Go do it now. JD like, I handled that Friday. I handled that in 4 days. You ain't doing nothing now. What are you doing right now? Go make yourself useful, Anyway, Dominic is still showing the place to Legado del Fantasma, who are there for no reason, by the way, except to piss off Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest. And then Andrade comes in. And then Dominic offers Andrade a spot in Judgment Day if he takes out Ricochet. To which Andrade says, you want me to handle business? You offer me business? I'm like, what is this? Business? Why does he want to join Judgment Day? Why does he care about Judgment Day? Anyway, he's considering it. He also gets to meet Santos Escobar, who he remembers. He knows Santos Escobar. And then Judgment Day, Damian Priest is upset about these guys using his darts. Dominic Mysterio is in trouble. Rhea Ripley does not like that he's got friends over. And I don't know, maybe they're spending the night without asking, but they just wanted to play the game. He should have brought out the PlayStation. He brought out the darts. Somebody should have brought out some. Do Mexicans play spades? Puerto Ricans. Because, it's like a mystery of Mexicans and Puerto Ricans. Because Damian Priest is Puerto Rican. I think Elektra Lopez is Puerto Rican, too. So, like, do they play spades? Like, we play spades? I don't know. But whatever. They just doing stuff. They're just doing stuff. Dominic Mysterio slid his way into a WrestleMania match. Thumbs up for him. But Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest don't necessarily like it. But whatever. Who cares? Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley got into a fight because of the most useless security of all time. Man, you would think that security in wrestling is made out of wet paper towel. Rhea Ripley just marched to the ring and basically walked right through them. If they were an offensive line, they'd be the worst offensive line of all time. It's just, Adam Pearce is out here yelling about, trying to stop this because it's a WrestleMania match and blah, 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 blah. And she just walks right on through. Just walk right through them, for God's sake. And I'm just like, okay. And she fight Becky Lynch and then they get separated. And they also fought on Ariel Helwani's show. Because after that maybe hour or 2 hour long CM Punk conversation, they decided to shoot an angle where Becky Lynch shows up and starts a fight with Rhea Ripley. None of this feels legitimate, by the way. That Becky Lynch promo where she cut about Rhea Ripley's butt and how she's, it fucking sucks that she has to talk about that. That felt genuine. That felt legitimate. That felt real. That felt like something Medusa is like possessing the body of Becky Lynch and cutting this promo like she was talking about Trish Stratus that time. Like, it undermines all the work I've done for 10 years or whatever. I'm like, ooh, Battle Axe Bex. Ooh, I don't like that. I don't like that. You're coming across like a heel. But this is like something out of like a voodoo movie or something. Like she's sitting there, and next thing I know, I hear Alundra Blaze shit coming out of her mouth. Like, when did Becky Lynch get like this? But she's been a woke idiot for a long time. It's just, I wasn't expecting it. So, but Becky Lynch being mad that Rhea Ripley's butt is a topic of conversation. Be mad at the interviewers for asking you about Rhea Ripley's butt. Don't be mad at Rhea Ripley's butt. Be mad at the interviewers for talking about Rhea Ripley's butt. But this feud, basura. Who cares? They should have started this thing a long time ago. Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile pinned Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae, when Maxine pinned Indy Hartwell with a roll-up. Candice LeRae then verbally berated Indy for losing. Said she should be embarrassed that she lost to Maxine Dupree. And Indy Hartwell was legit embarrassed, but Indy Hartwell sucks. Maxine Dupree also sucks. Candice LeRae also sucks. The only person who doesn't suck here is Ivy Nile, and she was virtually not involved. Triple H, what can you say? They did a vignette for Drew McIntyre. It was a funeral for CM Punk's WrestleMania main event. It was a very humorous line in here where he says that CM Punk's triceps want nothing to do with him. They're trying to get away from him, which big pop. He called Seth Rollins a cringe lord and said that he deserves all of the beatings he's going to get. So I thought that was pretty cool too. This was a good promo. It wasn't the best. I think he did a good job last week, a better job last week. Drew is very strong. I'm hearing that they're actually going to change his theme song. They might change it to Broken Dreams again. Okay. I know they've been teasing that for a while, but I'm alright with that. Damage Control was on this show. They defeated the gayest team of all time, which is Tegan Nox, Zoe Stark, and Shayna Baszler. I mean, they just decided to go to a pride parade and start a fight, basically. That's exactly what happened. A bunch of Asians went, to a pride parade and started a fight, and then won the fight. Good for them. Why was Damage Control on this show? Well, because they're losing on at WrestleMania, so they gotta win. Gotta set them up. Gotta fatten the cow up for slaughter. So there that go. Speaking of fattening the cow up for slaughter and WrestleMania and things being slapdash, apparently Lashley is going to be on the card. It will be Lashley and the Street Profits versus Karrion Kross and Authors of Pain on a Philadelphia street fight at WrestleMania. I'm going to shrug on this because at least Lashley has a match. Karrion Kross is going to make his WrestleMania main event. But this feels like a let's get everybody on the card gimmick. And it might start one of the two nights and end up with people not really caring about it by the end of the show. So, unfortunate, but whatever. That's pretty much it when it comes to Monday Night Raw. Jey Uso was hanging around backstage. He ran into Lil Weezy. So Lil Wayne is going to be at WrestleMania. He's going to perform his new single. It's a new Lil Wayne song. It's going to be performed at WrestleMania. There was a time where that actually would have, excited me because I used to be a fan of Lil Wayne. Now I'm just kind of like, man, they're kind of 10 years too late on the Lil Wayne gimmick. I think they said Travis Scott's going to be there too, so it's just nothing but hip hop now. I'm like, oof, hip hop, rough. All right, fine, whatever. Also, they said Raw was the highest grossing Raw of all time. 15,000 people in the building, legit sellout. They didn't say what the gate was. I'm pretty sure it might be like a press release or something like that. And I didn't look that up. But they're doing gangbusters on business on this road to WrestleMania. The Rock has given himself tons of credit for it. Roman took a little bit of a jab at The Rock by taking a jab at Cody. Because, when he said with Cody, you saw what we were doing over here in 2020 and you wanted to be a piece of it. That's kind of what The Rock is doing, isn't it? Like, the bloodline made everything hot and The Rock just jumped on in it and decided to ride the wave. I can see Roman eventually using that against The Rock at some point in the future, but They doing gangbusters on business. So as long as they do well in business, people are not going to hear my criticisms of Triple H's very boring, stale booking. You know, and the fact that he's making sure that bums get on the WrestleMania card while everybody else gets on the last second. The very last second. Whatever. But the show, at least the Roman Reigns part was good. I like the Intercontinental Championship stuff. That was good. Everything else, though, not so much. You know, not so much. Definitely looking forward to NXT, though. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.